and welcome again. I am from the internet, and my name is Dan. Welcome to Warp Wednesdays. This is the second time in a row that I've done this. Basically, what you will get here is a rundown of some of the fun things that we got here at Warp 9 Comics. Who is the weird guy standing to my right? Well, sitting, I guess. If you've ever joined me on Twitch before, you know that I shill for something called the Extra Secret Podcast. What is the Extra Secret Podcast? Well, it's a podcast, and it's extra secret. That's why you probably never heard of it. We recently had our episode 100. On that podcast, there's a man named E.A. Henson. I present him now.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How are you? You look well. Good. Anyway, though, enough of that. I'm sure you want to see some nerd shit. Let's do some nerd shit. First things first, we're probably going to do some toys, and the toys are this. First thing we got, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air toy. See that?
Will Smith.
Mafex came out with a Deadshot, so whether or not you like the movie, you're getting a toy anyway. So, from the Suicide Squad, lots of articulation. I will be honest, though, Mafex is not my favorite thing in the world. They do have some quality control issues. I will just be honest about that. Allegedly, they've been kind of getting better on that stuff, but I gotta give the disclaimer on that. Have you heard anything about this?
I haven't heard anything about the Deadshot figures specifically, but I have heard about the quality control issues for the Mafex figures.
Yeah, and especially at like the $54 price tag. Huh, I got that one. $54 price tag. It is kind of rolling the dice, but if you do like figures that are based on the Suicide Squad, this is probably right up your alley. It's a nice one. So come in, check it out.
Good introductory figure for the Suicide Squad.
Well, let's talk about something that you got personally and something that I really enjoy.
Doctor.
This from Bandai, the SH Figuarts Batman. It's based on the Dark Knight movie. It is the Christian Bale Batman, so you can talk like this while you play with it.
Swear to me.
Swear to me. So Eric got one of these yesterday. I dropped it off at his house for him to kind of play with it. It only got into his butt once. Thank Christ for that. What are your impressions on this toy?
Very pointy, first off.
Okay, very pointy. That's poignant.
Yeah, but definitely worth the cash. The Figuarts figures, if you buy one of these, it becomes a habit. You will forsake all other action figures, and then this will be your primary go-to. Like, I don't even mess around with the Star Wars Black Series figures anymore, because I've put all my, my horses in the cart for Figuarts.
Horse carts.
Yes.
As you can see here, the great thing about the Figuarts as well, they come with multiple different heads. They come with multiple different hands. In this case, he's got
so many hands.
Yeah, so many hands. Which we're gonna get to that in a moment. There's something else that we got here that's super cool. This one comes with batarangs. His little what was that, like an EMP rifle or something?
Yeah, he's got the EMP rifle. He's got the grappling gun.
Grappling gun. Yep.
I swear to God, he's got like a dozen different pairs of hands.
Now I'm looking at this cape. Does the cape go out like in the movie? You know what I'm talking about? Where he grabs it and it gets like stiff.
It does have some piping in it, but it's not like
stiff pipes.
We're
this many.
Yeah.
I'm this many. Anyway.
It's not posable though. It is kind of like structured in parts.
Okay, so it just kind of, because I can see little things, so it goes out a little bit, but it's not like.
Yeah, it's kind of gusseted, I guess.
Cool. So well worth the money. This gets 4 out of 5 Erics?
I'd say 5 out of 5 Erics.
5 out of 5 Erics. That's a lot of Erics.
It is the perfect Christian Bale Batman figure.
Erics looks like the back of Marty's dad's book in the good timeline of Back to the Future. So dreamy.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's a deep cut.
I guess so. Other things that came out this week from NECA. This didn't come with our normal comic book shipment because we have a direct line to NECA, so we get this stuff, If you've ever been around the store, you've seen this stuff. We got some of the new Aliens figures.
Oh, it's blue.
It's very blue.
I like that.
This is based on the Warrior Alien from it's the Vicious Attacker Alien. My bad. From Aliens. Obviously, it's never made it into like an actual movie. I'm assuming it's just like a variant of some shape or form.
I think they're all based off the Kenner line.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Which they even do like on the backs is like the old school Kenner kind of graphics. Great thing about NECA, this is the Xenomorph. The wonderful thing about NECA is, for one thing, their quality is really good, and the other great thing about it, price. They're usually only about $20, which is a hell of a deal for a big figure like that.
It's not bad at all.
No, most figures are going up to almost $30 now. The other really great thing about NECA is they are starting to get some of the actors' licenses. This is the character Lambert in the movie Alien. Really, really cool. If you do like, obviously, alien things, really, really awesome. But the other thing is about NECA, I've been told by multiple people who've had problems with their figures that if there is a major problem, what will happen is you can email them, and their customer support people will even have you send it to them. They will fix it, and they will send it back at very little cost to you, which is amazing, because most places what usually happens is you tell them that it's broken, they say take it back to the place you bought it, and they drop it in our lap, which is bullshit.
Do we know what they charge?
Honestly, from what I understand, I haven't heard anybody being charged a dime for getting stuff replaced. But it all depends on the scenario. You know, if like you send them something, it's obvious that you broke it in half yourself. They're gonna be like, "Come on, bro." But if there's a common thing, like it seems like a hand's falling off of this, that, and the other thing, you're probably not the first person that's happened to, which means they know about it. So if you're into Alien stuff, we did get some new Alien stuff this week. It usually, thank you very much, hold that. It usually does go very, very quick. So, Xenomorph, Blue Guy, Lambert. Moving on. So, one of the really cool things that we got this week, first I'm going to show you the box. The box is dope. From, once again, our favorites, Bandai SH Figuarts.
Oh, yeah.
We have the Doctor Strange.
Mr. Doctor Strange.
Mr. the Doctor Strange. So strange. Cool thing about this, based on actor Benedict Cumberbatch's likeness in the movie, comes with multiple different things. And by multiple different things, I mean we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands.
2 heads.
2 heads and some fire. So, being who I am, I got one of those.
Hot fire.
So I got one myself, and I had to do it. So he comes with the discs, as you can see. Very, very cool. But the cool thing I didn't know about this is the cape. So the cape kind of breaks off into multiple different things, and you can also move it forward as well. So moving it forward is really cool, because you can kind of, give him like a cloak thing, like the Batman.
Nice thing about that is that one actually has like joints in it, whereas it stays attached. The Batman figure that we were just talking about, the shoulder pads on that are on tiny ball joints.
Okay.
So they fall off.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
But otherwise, still a near perfect figure.
Still 5 out of 5 Erics.
Still 5 out of 5.
That's a lot of Erics.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is I've used this with a NECA stand as well today. And, you can make them kind of float up a little bit. Obviously, with the NECA stand going behind here, it can be a bit troublesome. But when you go in the different poses and, like, from the side, you can adjust the cloak, accordingly. So it's really cool for pictures. I put a couple up on our Instagram on Warp9 Comics. Definitely check them out, because this was a fun one. It's really, really cool. And obviously, the other pieces that came with it... Want to hold that for me?
How many Dans does it get?
Oh, this is like 10 out of 9 Dans. So the fire pieces are really sweet. So the fire pieces, there's multiple fire pieces. This isn't even all of them. So the cool thing about the fire pieces is that you can use these for other things, obviously. I mean, you want Captain America to run out of burning building?
Done.
You want your Mafex Deadpool running out of Bel Air while it's burning? These two.
The Star-Lord figure that Figuarts has coming out actually has some little purple explosion type things that are coming with it.
It does, but I don't know if I don't know if I can pay that much for that figure, because it's still just fucking Star-Lord.
It's still Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool though if they made the rest of the people from like Parks and Rec, and you can maybe just do like little Parks and Rec scenes.
If they did a superposable fat Chris Pratt figure.
Oh, that'd be great. That before he got all, he started banging some weights and banging other things. Of course, he's now being divorced. I would buy more NECA based on that customer service feedback. Yeah, dude, it's a real thing. You can look it up. Obviously, different people have had different experiences with NECA. But everything I've heard personally from people who send them stuff, the turnaround time's fast, and they've always been really nice about it. I think they even have a customer support network thing on Twitter. And typically, if you at them on Twitter, at NECA, the person you're talking to on the regular NECA account is usually the guy who owns the company. It's Randy. So, and he'll tell you to follow. He'll tell you to follow and tweet at it's like NECA customer support or something like that, and it's really a good thing. Strange would look great molesting a Bilbo Hobbit figure, and you could argue it's a Sherlock dream sequence.
Yeah.
Okay then.
How many Dans does this get?
Oh man, it gets 10 out of 9 Dans for sure.
Even though his goatee is kind of almost non-existent.
His goatee is kind of non-existent.
I don't know if people will be able to see that.
Here's the only complaint from the Dan here. And not really. It's going to be tough on the webcam.
It's because it's not there. They can't see it.
The only tough thing with the Dan here is, can I refer to myself as the Dan? Does anybody mind?
third person.
The two heads are very, very, very similar. They're way too similar in my opinion. I was kind of hoping for something that was a little more, I don't know, action-y, I guess. Because if you look at the other head, it's almost the exact same, to be honest with you. For the point, I was like, this looks kind of like the other one. Right. Fire pieces look like they're straight out of Electric Six video. Oh, yeah. Very topical.
Fire.
Episode number 100, we actually, of the Extra Secret Podcast, which you can find on iTunes, we actually had one of the guys from the Electric Six on the podcast. His name is Christopher Tate. He's a wonderful man. We love him. And he also plays in a band called Bell Ghoul.
A.K.A. Tate Nucleus.
Tate Nucleus. So long as
guy.
you're cool with all of us referring to you as the Dan when we visit the store. Yeah, I guess we could get that moving, huh? We're all going to be, I guess I'm the Dan now. God, that sucks. I really don't want to be the Dan anymore.
Is the Dan in?
I'm going to tap out. I don't want to be the Dan anymore.
That was quick.
No, I don't want to be the Dan. I'm done. I think I'm going to go. You can wrap this up. Peace out.
All right, so I'm taking this over as I knew it was always going to happen.
Yeah. I just figured it was going to be like Highlander. You're going to cut my head off and take my power.
There can be only one. We moving on to this guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So one of the big things that we've been kind of jumping on really quick about, and I've even got the boss on board with this stuff, even though Trey collects a lot of stuff. We decided to start getting on with the Mezco 112 figures, and especially this guy, because it's a previews exclusive. For those of you who don't know what previews exclusive means, it means it's mainly available for people with a diamond account. So mostly for guys like us who've got comic book stores. They make it readily available, which is a wonderful thing. The cool thing about this one, don't go away with that.
Yeah.
Cool thing about this one, it's a metal tin. Metal tins are the dopeness for putting any of your stuff in there. So as you can see on the back there, multiple pieces. This is our boy Arsenal. He was also known as Speedy. Unfortunately, for those of you who are purists of the comic book, no, he does not come with his heroin works. Don't fucking ask.
Or a dead cat.
Or a dead cat.
Or a cyborg arm.
Or a cyborg arm. Or a trucker hat, which I absolutely hate about the new Arsenal.
Or tribal tattoos.
Or tribal tattoos. Why do we like this figure then?
I don't know. You're going to tell me.
So it comes with multiple things. The great thing is his little vest here, and his hood goes up and down. It's actually made out of real pleather. No animals are harmed in the making of this pleather. And multiple arrows. There's more arrows in the box. I didn't want to get all of them out because I got fingers that drop stuff a lot. And
you
then
get the dropsies.
And this is Trey's. And if I lost the boss's stuff, well, there would be no more of the Dan.
He wouldn't be happy.
So, obviously, bow and arrow. Posability is really good on these guys. Unfortunately, it does not come with a... does it come with a stand? I didn't see a stand in there, which is weird because a lot of their figures aren't balanced great. So it's one of those things of if you need a NECA stand, we sell NECA stands at the store. Otherwise, if you got your own, stand people that you like going through, you can do that too. I personally like the NECA stands a lot. They're heavy duty, and they're from toy people. Like the people who work at NECA are all about the toys, So I know you won't be able to see this a whole hell of a lot because our webcam it's a good webcam, but it's not built for this. So as you can see, little clasp, things of that nature. Posability is pretty good. The hands snap off and snap on really easy for changing things out. The hood goes up and down very easy. The cool thing about the quiver, the one they put in the back, is they're just all together, so they're not just rattling around in there. So it's more for an aesthetic thing, So it just looks really nice, and it's real easy just to keep it in there. So
I'm not huge into the figures that have the cloth, outfits on them.
Me neither.
But this is actually really cool. Like they actually went ahead and it's like tailored to fit the figure, which is neat.
Yeah, definitely. He called the tailor. He's wearing yoga pants for the ladies.
He could be fighting crime or just popping up to the corner store to get a gallon of milk.
It could be bulletproof yoga pants. We don't know his life.
He could have to pick up Damian Wayne and Superboy from soccer practice. We don't know.
There you go. I really know how to take the piss out of asking questions. Yeah, what do I do, man? It's what I do. Does the Strange Fig still have a bad American accent, or can we play faux Phage and recast him with a British accent? You, sir, can do a British accent all you like. Actually, I would like to hear that.
He sounds like Hugh Laurie from House.
Yes. I'm House. Roadhouse.
For people that are interested, a new trailer dropped today for Thor Ragnarok. It's a Japanese trailer that does have Doctor Strange in it at the beginning.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that, folks. Look at that.
So it's out there. Check it out.
We had him on here for a reason.
Yep.
You know what he does for work? He spends all day on the internet.
That is not
People
true.
are dying and burning and falling out of planes. This dude, Don't give a fuck.
As-
He will come with you with he will show you the stuff, the Japanese trailer from Ragnarok while the world is burning around us.
Josh knows what I'm talking about.
That looks awesome. I'll trade you my holofoil Generation X for number 1 for it. Hey, you can go ahead and ask Dan that, or trade that all you want. Not Dan. Dan, what the hell are you doing streaming? The store is supposed to be closed. My office first thing tomorrow. You don't have an office. He doesn't have an office.
Who dat?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He looks like the Hawkeye in a red vest. Take that, DC fans. Yeah, very true.
Does look a little bit Renner-ish.
Yeah, and honestly, if you wanted to, you could use you could use that and probably make your own Hawkeye.
That's an expensive custom. What are those retail for?
Those retail for about $80.
$80. That's not too terribly bad, but
no. They're bigger than the Figuarts, which we just showed, the Batman, and then obviously the Doctor Strange. The Doctor Strange will run you about $85, but it's because it comes with all that other stuff.
So much stuff.
It's a great figure. I told Eric last night, I'm like, I'm probably just gonna hang on to it for a little bit, and I'll probably sell it off later.
Then today,
fine.
no.
Today I was like, I already had it here out of the box playing with it. I'm like, man, I'm not getting rid of this.
I love
This
him.
thing's awesome.
I've named him.
Yeah. I named him. He's with me now forever. I'll probably sleep with him tonight.
He's mine.
Ooh, that got weird. So comic stuff.
Comics.
So big thing about comics this week, obviously, there was something that you had to turn up to 11. You had to pop in the Slayer CD and you had to get down with it. Metal. So DC's been teasing this thing for a while.
Oh my god, like a year.
Obviously, we started off with DC's the Dark Days the Forge, Dark Days the Casting, and now we are in the Dark Knights. Metal. So you can crank it up to 11, and what comes out? This. We're back to the holofoil days, people.
I love it.
We're back to it's like a piece of metal. It's just metal. It's metalicious. So for any of you out there who haven't read the Forge and the Casting, we're sorry. We might spoil a couple of things, but we will not spoil this because that's just not fair.
I think if you miss those, it's not gonna take your enjoyment out of this.
It really doesn't. But there was a couple things they introduced in that, and obviously the end of the casting kind of set this up. So mixed review in my opinion. Okay, is it bad? Absolutely not. Of course, it's not bad. For fans of old school DC, pre-Flashpoint DC, you're going to be on board with this 100% because it's kicking the door wide open for all those things they got rid of in the New 52 that you were like, why the fuck did they do that in order just to have Rob Liefeld write a Deathstroke book? Why? Nobody knows. Do you know? I don't know. So anyway, cool thing about this book, written by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, they did the original New 52 Batman run that everyone was really gaga about until the end. But still very solid art, very solid writing, obviously. They introduced a ton of different stuff, and you know, I'm willing to be on board for what comes next, and I'm definitely not going to be one of those guys that's like, this thing sucks, don't read anymore. Because obviously, for one thing, I sell the comics, man. Please read it, you know? Otherwise, I ain't got a job.
I thought it was a lot of fun, honestly.
Nobody wants me sticking up people anymore.
Like, this isn't a spoiler because one of the variant covers has it, but if you ever want to see Batman ride a dinosaur, it's in this book.
Yeah, he rode Dinosaur. It was a shit.
Dinosaur with feathers.
Oh, yeah, he's got feathers, like a real dinosaur. You know? Take that, science people.
And then there's a big spoiler at the end, which I'm not going to spoil.
No, not going to spoil.
Even though the fake news Washington Post did on Monday.
Fake news Washington Post.
Owned by Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Fake news guy.
Yep.
Fake news man.
They spoiled the ever-living crap out of the issue, but I still read it and enjoyed it anyways, and...
Yeah, me with my finger far from the pulse of society, because, I work in a fictional world of comics. Why do I need to know what's going on outside? I don't need that. I got this. The cool thing about Metal is the thing that we talked about. It's introducing some more things that people have been kind of clamoring for, and we're going kind of sideways with something new. We're going to see the other side of the coin, if you will. Not a Two-Face reference because he's not in this.
That we know of.
But we're going to, so far anyway. But we're going to see the other side. It basically takes place of what happens if the multiverse got flipped upside down and there was a dark multiverse. What would be in that dark multiverse? What would happen if it came over to our multiverse or their multiverse?
The reveal of the
a lot of questions
of the dark multiverse in the book was one of the most ridiculous things I'd seen, but it was so... Like, I guarantee they were sitting at a writer's summit. They're going, what if there's something on the other side of this map?
Instagram spoiled the ending for me. How are people posting this stuff days before the issue drops? The problem is that DC and Marvel for a while there have been including it in stupid ass press releases.
Yep.
And not even giving them the issue to review, just spoiling it for them so they can help them promote it, which is dumb. because then what happens is a lot of people just don't give a shit and they don't buy the issue anymore.
Why do I need to buy it? I already read the ending.
I already read the ending, or I'll just download it. It's a huge problem, and it was talked about a little bit at the retailer summit, from what I understand. But the problem is most of these guys are too busy being like, I don't want to upset the apple cart and yell at Jim Lee. Well, that's why Dan should go to the retailer summit, because I'll fucking yell at everybody. It's not true. I'd probably just be. I'd just ask him if we want to hang out later. Play some t-ball or something.
You'd be like Chris Hardwick. Be like, hey, Jim Lee.
Hey, Jim Lee, do you like Die Hard?
Do you want to come over to my house later?
Have you ever seen Die Hard?
I collect classic animation cells.
Anyway, so DC Dark Knight's Metal, it's going to be a huge event. There's going to be other things that obviously we're going to talk about on this show, maybe on the podcast. We've got lots of Batman one-shots, all sorts of stuff. It's going all the way until February of next year, but obviously in between that time, we are also going to be talking about the Doomsday Clock, which is going to be written by Jeff Johns, Michigan's own.
Michiganian.
Michiganian. He's more of a California guy
Michigander.
now. But that'll be fun too, so we'll have to look out for that. Next things next. Batman. Batman is continuing the war in jokes and riddles. It's actually very, very, very good, and it has just been getting better. The War of Jokes and Riddles, I know this is not the beginning of the arc or anything, but I just want to profess my love for this. This literally just takes place of Batman having dinner with all of his foes, which is very, very interesting.
Just a nice little sit down. Do they go to the Applebee's?
He's trying as Bruce Wayne to work some shit out, Mm-hmm. And it's really cool because us as the audience kind of know what he's doing, and he's doing some typical Batman stuff, being the smartest guy in the room. The rest of it is just really, really cool because, for one, if you haven't read this yet, I really suggest trying to find the issues, or at least reading it when it comes out in trade. It's got one of my favorite takes on the Joker ever. The Joker is no longer laughing. He doesn't find anything funny anymore, which, as everybody knows about the Joker, that's fucking terrifying. Because if he's upset and he doesn't find anything funny, what is he going to do? He's going to keep doing a bunch of messed up stuff until he finds something funny again.
I know that feeling, Joker.
And then it also really has the Riddler, who I've always loved the Riddler as a villain, and it really shows the Riddler in a very, very, very dark light. Tom King and, is it Micah Yanin?
Yes.
Something like that, Yanin. They're doing a fantastic job in this book. Tom King is up there as one of my top writers. Pretty much anything he writes to me is gold.
People have really been going nuts for the Tom King stuff.
It started off slow.
Yeah, I didn't read it. I checked out the first couple issues, and I was like, not for me. But it's been making all the best of lists over the last few months.
And especially Mr. Mike Mack in the chat just said it, hit it on the head. Kite Man, hell yeah. The single standalone story he did for the origin of Kite Man is one of the most heartbreaking things you will ever read in comics. It is, it makes you feel bad for this absolutely nothing ridiculous character. And Tom King, if you follow him on Twitter, knew. He was like, man, I got something for you guys. He's like, you're going to watch this. You're going to feel really bad for making fun of this guy all these years. And boy, I did for about 5 seconds. But then I realized I don't have feelings and I moved on with my life.
Yeah.
So, speaking of moving on. So, last time anybody ever heard of Space Ghost, he's had a 112 figure come out over the past few months. He was also doing a nice little talk show called Space Ghost Coast to Coast with my man Brack.
Zorak.
Yeah, Zorak.
Moltar.
Shout out ups to Zorak.
Big ups.
Moltar. Come on now. The cool things about Michael Yanin leads in SH Figuarts Facebook page. Get out of here.
What?
Dude, that's awesome. See, you learn stuff in the chat all the time.
Yeah.
Did Eric request the TF figures be in the background intentionally? Nah, man, this is the way this kind of always is. Otherwise, I'd have to move it someplace else. I tried to get it in front of the comics, but there's a lot of shine coming off the lights, so it's a problem. Talk to him all the time. He's a cool dude. You should have him do a sketch for me.
Yeah.
Free stuff for a stranger.
I'll take one.
So anyway, Space Ghost. We last saw him on Coast to Coast doing interviews with all sorts of celebrities, shooting Zorak all the time.
Moby.
Moby was on the show. Anyway, we got ourselves a Space Ghost comic book. More of a serious take. It's back to him being the hero and having the sidekicks and everything, but it's also delving into his background of what happened to all the heroes that used to be just like him, and how there's only a few of these power bands left and things. But it also includes oh my god, I can't believe I just dropped it. Who's the other guys that were in the Hanna-Barbera thing? They had the dinosaur.
The Herculoids?
Yeah, the Herculoids are in this book.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. If you are into Herculoids, they're in this book too. There's actually going to be a team up with like Gloop and Gleep and shit.
Oh yeah,
It's awesome. They were using them as beanbag chairs at one point in time in this book. Who wouldn't, right? So if you're a fan of old school Hanna-Barbera stuff, man, Space Ghost is definitely a great book for you. I actually had a lot of fun reading the book. And basically what we're doing now is, the comic stuff is stuff I read and then, pass on to you, whatever you feel like doing with it. If you want to buy it, that's sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
Next thing, next. 42 Mile Main Street.
Scenic downtown Clawson, Michigan.
Cha-ching. Next thing's next. This is a perfect place for you to jump on Superman, okay? Superman, the last couple issues have gotten a little bit more about like the history of the United States and stuff. Very, very good.
What?
It did. It did. For 2 issues, it went on about the history of the United States, and they went on vacation to Washington, D.C. and stuff. Were you not reading this?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're getting back to basics. We're getting back to another hero story. But as you can see on this is the beginning of A Minute Longer. And as we see is something that's very, very, very not good for the DC universe. That is Superman as a Yellow Lantern.
Uh-oh.
Superman as a Yellow Lantern means now Superman knows fear. When the guy who's supposed to be fearless in all things knows fear, well, what's going to happen? Superman has a run-in with Parallax. Anyone who knows Parallax is the absolute face of fear. And then it kind of goes from there. Great jumping on point. If you are a fan of the Jeff Johns Lantern stuff, this is kind of a must read. I would definitely get all in on this. I read it last night and loved it.
Nice.
So, and man, I'm surprised you're not reading Superman.
Yeah.
I've been loving the Superman book.
Ever since I don't know, it's been a little bit convoluted for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's your opinion. That's what we do here, man. He's wrong, but that's cool. He can be wrong if he wants.
Speaking of convoluted,
it's not true. This is Dan's, literally, this is my pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
I'm not even joking. This was my favorite thing this week, okay? And people are going to laugh because I know everyone's just kind of shrugging off this stuff, but I'm telling you, favorite book of the week. This is the Generations All New Wolverine. Now, if you joined me last week, we talked a little bit about the Generations Hulk book and how basically they're just dropping these heroes into these stories in a different time frame, and they're just kind of like, go. Great thing about this story is it kind of it takes the same feelings you had about Logan and the relationship between Laura and Wolverine.
Oh, the feels.
Mixes in some of that stuff into this book on top of it. So what happens is Laura gets dropped into past time where Wolverine is still in Japan and he's still with Yuriko and things of that nature, and he has the adopted daughter with Yuriko.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fighting hand ninjas. So for those of you who miss Wolverine busting up hand ninjas, this is your book. For those of you who enjoyed the relationship, or at least the development of relationship with Wolverine and Laura, this is your book. This is written by Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor is another guy that's way up there on my list of things. To me, everything that he touches turns to gold. He is a wonderful Australian man. It is a one-shot. You don't need to know anything else about Wolverine. All you need to know is that there's 2 Wolverines in this book. They meet up, they beat up a bunch of undead ninjas, and they go from there. But I can tell you, the last few pages of this book, they hit you right in the cockles. If you've got cockles, protect your cockles, because they're going to kick you right in the cockles. It's going to make you misty. Especially for those of you who got kids. I don't have kids. Do I have kids?
I think so.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
All right, anyway. Great book. I really enjoyed it. He hasn't read it, so he's just going to be quiet. But I would really suggest it. Really. Very much so. Another thing that was kind of a hot topic this week. Totally Awesome Hulk, number 22. I know it was making the rounds around the speculator market and all that about the new Hulk that's going to have Wolverine claws and everybody's going to be like, woo, this would be a $30 book. Not so much, people.
Oh.
The issue was just fine. The story arc is now ending. It is the WMD story arc, the Weapons of Mutant Destruction. Basically what's been happening is these scientists have been kidnapping a bunch of the Weapon X folks like Sabretooth, Warpath, Domino, Wolverine, Old Man Logan, and Lady Deathstrike, and then also the Totally Awesome Hulk, and they've been splicing their DNA into a bunch of William Stryker's rednecks, alt-right douchebags.
That can't possibly be legal.
Sending them out to, kill mutants. So the last one that they were working on had the Hulk's DNA infused into it. So it's the first appearance of a character that doesn't even have a name or anything like that. and they end up freeing them, and yada yada yada. So, I mean, sorry for the spoilers, but I mean, it's really not that great. I do have sets here, though, if you're interested in the whole story. I like the story just because I like my boy Warpath. I like the Weapon X bunch, and I like seeing those guys interact because it's fun to see Wolverine and Sabretooth interact, and it's fun to see Domino interact with anything because she's just fun. I like the Domino character a lot. If you're a fan of stuff like Wolverine, Weapon X, all those things, classic 90s, X-Men books.
Yeah.
You'd probably enjoy this story arc. I do have sets available, like I said, and the sets are always marked down 25% off if you want to get the whole story. So, it's a fun one, but all the big hullabaloo about everyone talking about it's going to be a $25 book. No, it's not. Just don't even start with me.
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype! Great thing about, obviously this thing going from the stores, I do try to read new number ones to try to bring you guys my interpretation, especially on some of the indie books. And this week we got a new Sheena book.
Oh, hey.
So Sheena, it was 25 cents for number 0 from
25 pennies
from your boys at Dynamite Comics. So they decided that, like, hey, you know what? We like Sheena. We think you should like Sheena. 25 cents. For you members, you still get 25% off this book. It's like 17 cents, yo. Why wouldn't you try it? For those of you who are fans of the classic 50s comics of just some sci-fi stuff out in the jungle, you're going to love this book. You really, really will. If you're a fan of Sheena, you're going to love this book. Written by Marguerite Bennett, and...
oh, she's good.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
She's writing that one.
Dropping Christina Trullo, and art by Moritat. One word. Moritat. See it in lights. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. The story was very, very fun. It's nice to see Sheena written by a couple of females for a change, to be honest with you. Marguerite Bennett is money, in my opinion. I call her Money Marguerite. No, I don't, but I'm going to start doing that now because it's got a certain...
It's gone out.
It rolls off the tongue, and now it's out there on the internet.
Alliteration,
so
it works.
We're going to do this. I thought only Frank Cho was allowed to draw jungle ladies. Yeah, you wish, buddy. But Sheena, if you're trying to find something new, something a little different, especially it's superhero-ish, but more on like the sci-fi things, you might enjoy this. And dude, it's a quarter. Even if you don't like it, you can pass it on to somebody else. Maybe they won't like it.
What we got next?
Last but not least, something new from Top Cow. Top Cow, for those of you in the know, is a branch off of Image. Mostly, I believe, owned by Mark Silvestri.
Yeah, it was Mark Silvestri's imprint. Cyberforce, Witchblade.
Stuff they barely do anymore.
The Darkness.
The Darkness! I read something last night that I actually thought was pretty good. It's a book called Genius Cartel. The name is very Top Cow-ish. They always come up with these just like crazy outlandish, like
Wetworks.
Yeah, Wetworks, exactly. Genius Cartel is about a young lady who turns out she's a super genius when it comes to military tactics.
Okay.
But instead of being recruited by the CIA and stuff, she decided to make her own crew, and they eventually just kind of took over LA.
Oh.
In order to get her to stop, they pretty much made her disappear. They kidnapped her, and now they're making her go to like the special military school and go from there. I know I'm not giving it a whole lot of justice, but I actually really enjoyed this book. Mainly strong female lead, interesting premise for sure. I'm interested to see where it goes. So for something a little bit newer, especially for those of you on the indie side, I would definitely go with this. It's really cool. Other little quick hits, obviously Southern Bastards returned. For those of you who are into the Southern Bastards book, as you know, it was on hiatus for a long time. The editor on that book had his father die, and then shortly after that, Jason Latour's father died. So there was a lot of mixed emotions on that book for a while. They are back now, and I just want to say, congratulations to those guys. I mean, I'm happy to see you guys back. I'm happy to see you back working, and it'll get better. I know they'll probably never see this, but if you do, Jason, and I'm sorry, I'm spacing on the editor's name. My apologies. It'll get better, but it's nice to see those guys back. Top Cow still releases books. Tell me about it, dude. Mark Meriden getting some love. Yeah, I try to do that. Sounds like Childish Gambino. So anyway, that is make sure to I'm gonna post this to YouTube and it's going to be Extra Secret Gaming on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
I did actually remember to record this time.
Hey.
I will be back on Twitch Friday night at about 7:30, 7:45-ish. We'll do some video games. We'll do a couple of giveaways. I don't really have any giveaway stuff tonight. I'm sorry if you guys tune in for giveaway stuff. My bad. I just didn't really have anything to give away today. And I'm not giving you guys like an $80 figure. Sorry. Now, that one we got shorted like 5 of them or whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Extra Secret Podcast, episode 100 is up on iTunes. You can follow us at Extra Secret Cast on Twitter.
Yep.
Extra Secret Podcast at gmail.com to email the podcast. Extra Secret Gaming at gmail.com to email the Twitch stream. And final thoughts?
Tomorrow I've got a piece going up at biffbampop.com. A little piece I wrote about Michael Allred's Bug series. So that's going to go up at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So please check it out.
Yeah, he writes a lot of reviews and stuff. We're the king of all media here, man. The Extra Secret Empire is what it is.
Growing the brand.
Oh, yeah, we're all about that brand. A big ball of brand. Big ball of brand.
Warp 9.
Throwing up the dub. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, I'll be back here Friday. Read some books, guys, because on Friday, throw it at me. You know, I love talking comics. It's pretty much what I do all day.
Buy some comics.
I still enjoy doing it.
Escape the world for the love of God.
Yeah, the great thing is most of the guys in the chat right now are all guys that came in today and picked up their books.
Nice.
So I know they got some stuff to read. They're going to bring the fire on Friday. Otherwise, if you don't hang out on Friday, that's great. Have a great weekend. You know, hopefully we were a little entertaining, and hopefully we brought a little bit more sunshine to your life.
Warp Wednesdays.
I'm walking on sunshine.
I should grab the duster.
It's funny. She's still alive.
Yeah,
I did research on that.
Surprisingly.
So anyway, Extra Secret boys, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Eric's got an interview in the morning.
Maybe.
And I'm going to not do that.
No.
So thanks for hanging out.
See you.
We'll see you next time. Yes, we'll be back next week.